Hello, this is the Subaru Forester 2.5i-S. It's the car that I and my family have spent the last 6 months in. It's also a car that engenders the most extraordinary loyalty among its owners. So with 6 months, we thought we should be able to find out why. The thing is, I wasn't very convinced about this car. I've driven the turbo ones, the XT and the TS, and I just felt that the CVT let it down. So after 6 months, we have to ask the question, has the 2.5i-S convinced me that the Forester is worth all that lavish loyalty, or is it just trading on glories past? To find out, I'm going to take you through what we liked and what we didn't like about the Subaru Forester. This is a monster interior for this size of car. I'm here behind my driving position. I have tons of legroom, tons of headroom. It's just a lot of space. Here we have a good sized cargo area that can fit just about anything. I can put bags in it, it's got a low loading lip, and if I had the CarsGuide pram, it would just go straight in. And this is handy too. Mounted high in the windscreen is Subaru's eyesight system. It's a pair of cameras that scan ahead on the road for obstacles. The only problem is, it is super frantic. It panics whenever there's a car turning in front of you or there's a car in the same postcode. And I can't explain this, but it's only bad on the Forester. Every other Subaru, it's perfectly fine. Still, it's better to have it than not. Having said all of that about eyesight, the 2.5i-S is loaded with safety gear, lane departure warning, active cruise control, reversing camera, blind spot monitoring, lots of airbags, all the usual safety systems, plus very effective all-wheel drive. The thing about safety, it's not just enough to have all those systems, you actually have to feel safe. And in this thing, you always feel safe. In any conditions, this car is planted. That's pretty cool. This is Subaru's Starlink. It's not the worst system ever made. That's a three-way tie between Volvo, Peugeot and Lexus, but it's not what it needs to be. Other Subarus, like the new Impreza, they have CarPlay and Android Auto. This doesn't. So, look, it's not great. If you want to find a podcast, you actually have to return to the phone, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a system that actually takes your phone. Having said all that, the 6-speaker stereo is fine, the sound's fine. If you're just using the radio or the sat-nav, it's perfectly good. Just be nice if it had CarPlay or Android Auto. You know how everyone makes fun of SUV drivers for never taking their cars off-road? I reckon more than most Subaru Forester drivers take their car off-road. And there's two parts to that, because to get to somewhere that it's worth taking the car off-road, you've got to drive on the motorway, and this car is really good at that. It's really quiet, it's composed, the engine's barely ticking over when you're bumbling along, you've got active cruise, it's really good. But then when you get to the loose and muddy stuff, you press X mode and you're away. It's a really good car to take on gravel and dirt and mud and all of that. It's really easy to drive and it's very, very confidence inspiring, because I'm not the world's greatest off-roader, but I didn't feel any drama at all when I did take it off-road. So that's pretty good. Happy with that. Now this is a bit tricky. When we first got the car, we thought, oh, finally, a Subaru that's got a CVT we don't mind. And over the 6 months, we haven't been that keen on it. It's the best in this car, it absolutely is. The 2.5 and the CVT, they work really well together. But the response just isn't there. Like, it does have flappy paddles, but you shouldn't have to use them. It just takes too long to wind up when you put your foot down. So that's not great. And the other problem is that when you drive other cars in the segment, like the Tucson, like the CX-5, they've all got a proper transmission and they're much nicer to drive from that perspective. So, yeah, sorry. I still don't like the CVT. But here's the thing, this car never failed to deliver. A fully loaded trip to the snow with 4 people and all the ski equipment and all that stuff? Check. Trips to get soil and gravel and chook feed? Check. Going to the shops to get a carton of milk? Check. It was always there. Every question we asked, it answered. I've now stopped wondering just why people are such ardent defenders of the Forester. It's because it's quite good.